1. I'm a maitre d' and server at a nicer Manhattan restaurant, and we have an extremely busy weekend brunch. I'm the maitre d' for these brunches, and the way the sections work is we have tables in the front of the restaurant, on the sidewalk, in the back, and inside. There are particular tables on the sidewalks that look like booths, that accommodate parties 5 or larger. For this reason, most of the time I only use these booths for larger parties because no other tables can accommodate parties of that size comfortably. This particular brunch had reservations of 5+ coming in all at the same time, so I had to hold all the booths for those. There are only 4 of them. One was already set with a 5 top, one was being set for 7, and then the others all had 5 tops coming in about 15 minutes. A woman walks in and states her reservation name, and it's a party of 3. Great. I have my host walk her to the table. Host comes back and says she doesn't like it. Figures. We move some stuff around, and the host goes back and offers her a different table. Doesn't like that one either. She wants one of the booths. Host explains to her why she can't have the booths in particular, and then comes in and tells me she's going to wait for the rest of her party to decide what to do. I say, okay, and we move on. As this woman is waiting on her party, we walk the larger parties to the booth tables. About 10 minutes later, a different woman comes up to the front and angrily goes, "Are you the host here?" I tell her yes, I am, and ask what she needs. She tells me she is with the woman that told us she wanted to wait for her party, and that she can't believe we are denying a woman of color seating. I did not know what to say because I was stunned that she jumped to that conclusion. She then continued, "You are seating walk-ins right past her, and you tell her she can't sit here. Do you know how that looks?" Those are reservations for 5 or larger. I can't seat parties of 3 there because I need to hold it for larger parties. But I can offer you guys other tables if you don't want the ones we initially offered her. I also apologized for making her friend uncomfortable, but told her that it was only about party size and nothing else. She continued to tell me how she can't believe I'd leave a woman of color to stand in the street, etc., etc. She then left after I tried again to explain the situation. The host, who is also a woman of color, went out after her to talk to her and apologize, but they ended up storming away. I was simply stunned. I had never had someone jump to such a conclusion before, and after I explained it, I think her friend could tell she had messed up by trying to accuse me of something like that, but continued to go off on me anyway. I was so distraught by the incident, but that's people in this industry, I guess. I saw her a few days later. They left a 1-star review too, which was nice. 2. I work in a restaurant in Scotland, where you can have parties up to 6 people. And this night, I was unfortunately assigned to the large party section. We have to close our outdoor patio at 10, and inside closes at 10:30. At 9:30, I'm picking up food from the pass when a commotion at the door catches my eye. A group of mid-20s are loudly asking for a table at the door. Because of space issues, we're mostly taking reservations, and I can hear from the other side of the restaurant that they're angry they can't just walk in for a table outside at this time of night. They want to eat, so they have to eat inside because of time. It's very obvious they're drunk. They're loud and obnoxious, the ladies laughing while the men are arguing with the manager. Next thing I know, my manager comes over to me. She says, "No matter what, don't serve that table alcohol until I say okay. If they want it, they have to eat first." I agree and prepare for a fight. I go to the table and ask how they are and if they're ready to order. Immediately, the man closest to me says, "I'll have this food and this bottle of wine." I'm sorry, but as the manager said, you're not allowed to order alcohol until you've eaten.
"That's absolutely ridiculous,"
says the woman next to him.
"This is insane. The worst service I've ever had."
I'm sorry, but that's what I've been told. Would you like to order your food? They proceed to order food like drunk people do. Everyone's shouting what they want multiple times, and the original guy kept asking for wine. Once again, I'm sorry, sir, but I can't do that. Manager saw what was happening.
"Hey guys, like I said, I can't sell you drinks until you've eaten. This isn't her fault. I'm not willing to risk my license."
I walk away to put in their order while she fights with the angry lady. The other manager says, "Don't put it in yet, let's see if they're gonna listen to her."
I told them to listen or get out, and they said they'll eat.
I put in their food order and go about cleaning tables, all the while hearing them complaining loudly and calling Manager 1 a horrible name starting with C. My coworker and I walk back to the host stand and tell Manager 2 what they're saying. Manager 2. "That's it." They go over. "Come on, guys." The drunk guys insist that they're going to eat, but the original guy is trying to physically stop the women from berating Manager 2. Luckily, a second later, the women all stand up to leave, the guys just standing up and shrugging. The worst part is, the only sober guy was in the toilet and came back to find them all gone. He looked very upset, understandably, and left after apologizing for them. Very glad the managers did most of the arguing on this one. 3. I work at a casual sports bar in the lovely state of Florida. We get a nice mix of locals and tourists, and things tend to run pretty smoothly. This week has me wondering if some of our adult guests can actually read a menu, though. I have never had so many similar instances happen in such a short period of time, and it really has me scratching my head. For background, we use a QR code that links directly to our menu. You don't need a special app, and it's pretty straightforward. We even have Wi-Fi, so there typically isn't any issue with the process. I will always walk a guest through it or bring a paper menu upon request after greeting the table. Our draft beers are also posted on a chalkboard in huge font, all 75-ish of them. The website where our menu can be found is also typed under the QR code. I genuinely think our management did a wonderful job of making sure menus were easily accessible, while also trying to accommodate touch-free options. You can't please everyone, but we are really trying. This week, I've had a woman with both the digital and physical menu in front of her order the French onion soup. We do not carry any soup, nor have we ever. She argued with me. An old gentleman with a paper menu in his hand kept attempting to order different versions of sandwiches that all included deli meat. We don't carry any deli meat, and I verbally listed our available sandwiches. He decided upon a BLT, still not in the menu, but I gave up and asked a favor of the kitchen. It's like he was actively trying to not look at the menu. A younger, very polite man wanted me to list our beers on draft. I gestured to all 75, maybe more, and laughed, but explained how the board was set up. He then asked me to just list the IPAs. I then listed all 23 IPAs from lowest to highest alcohol content because, honestly, it wasn't busy, and I thought maybe he would have me stop when it got excessive. But no, I got through them all. He needed a minute because apparently it was a lot of information to take in. A couple ordered frozen strawberry daiquiris, and I explained that we do not have a blender, so no frozen drinks, but pointed them to our cocktail menu and suggested some fruity tropical options. Their next request was a mudslide. Another couple were super pleasant and their children were sweet. Everything service-wise was great and I wasn't expecting a curveball, but upon picking up their checkbook, I found a note about how it's ridiculous we charge for chocolate milk for kids. It's listed as an upcharge on the kids menu, but their kids didn't even order off the kids menu. Of course it's going to cost something. A group of ladies were shocked that I didn't warn them that happy hour didn't apply on the weekend. They didn't ask about happy hour and didn't even order anything that would have been included on it, given it were the correct day and time. Maybe I just had a long weekend and I'm being dramatic, but why would we bother with a menu if it didn't matter? Just look at it. Thank you for listening to my rant. 4. I was a manager in a fast casual restaurant who had been stacked a full week of shifts. 3 12-hour shifts back-to-back on top of an early morning meeting and an all-nighter inventory the night before. My general manager and I got along great. He was the big buff, "I chug way too much protein shakes and I'm a vegan," poster child who had a solid 30 pounds of muscle on me. He knew I'd been overworked the past few days, and this was my last 12-hour double before my first day off in 2 weeks, and I'd pulled a 15-hour shift the night before. So he left me a caffeine pill to help wake me up. The same kind he takes. I get my morning coffee, I'm still a zombie, I drink a second cup. I'm still looking half dead and prepare to suffer. I see the note about the caffeine pill and take it out of desperation. One of my servers brings me an energy drink because she's a goddess. I chug that. It's 11 a.m. It's been 4 hours. I am now awake. And jittery. Oh shit. I now start to have superpowers. My speech is doubled. Reorganizing the stock is now way easier. Why can I lift these kegs that weigh 100 pounds? My GM comes in early, looks at me and says, "You didn't take that whole pill, did you?" I did. He takes half usually, because it's basically like meth and never with caffeine. My pupils are now 2 different sizes and I'm twitching. My oh shit moment hits. I've got 8 more hours, if I'm lucky, and I'm basically extreme CrossFit member meets frat boy party night high. My GM is laughing hysterically at this point. My entire server and kitchen team are doubled over laughing. And my regulars have joined in the fun after realizing what's happened. My BFF brings me a new shirt. I'm sweat-soaked at this point. Thank God for black shirts. The densest slice of pizza on earth and 3 servings worth of meat and rice. I've been whipped up by my amazing kitchen. No idea where they found it because we don't serve that. In a futile attempt to force my body to use the excessive caffeine to digest. The next 9.5 hours, not 8 we got slammed, are spent with me sprinting around at a way too fast speeds and somehow I did not go insane. Our stock space is spotless, and I've managed to organize a keg cooler solo. The crash hits. I am now a zombie again. Only it's exhaustion and a caffeine crash. We never speak of this incident again. Our overhead manager doesn't ever schedule me like that again, even though no one told him what happened, despite the great reviews we got about speedy service that day. And I slept for 14 hours. Never exceed the max daily caffeine intake in less than 2 hours. 5. I worked at a bougie sushi place, one of the nicer hangouts in my area. I was waiting tables that night, and this awful couple who were regulars came in. I was the lucky one that night who got them in my section. The husband always tipped poorly, and his wife was always a shit show. Imagine Real Housewives, but sloppier and from Boston. Anyway, they were waiting for another couple, so I got them drinks. While I'm at the bar, near the front of the restaurant, this D-bag in a Lambo screeches up to the entrance, revving his engine. He parks in the no parking zone in front of the door. He comes swaggering in with his date, and my manager immediately tells him to move his car. He's pissed, but does it. He comes back in, and of course they're the couple that my other assholes are waiting for. I greet them at the table, and the new couple are already arguing. The woman is complaining that D-bag was speeding and driving recklessly on the way over. Valid complaints. I just hate dealing with fighting couples. I try to smooth things over and offer them drinks. The D-bag's date eagerly orders a cocktail, but D-bag is just warming up. "Hey, do you recognize me?" "I'm Johnny Marlin from Johnny Marlin's Fishing Hour." I've never heard of it. So I respond, not really giving a shit. "Oh really, that's great. Can I interest you in a drink from the bar?" "Yeah, I'm the host. We just did another show today." Blah blah, continues talking about himself. "Great. What would you like to drink?" This is when sloppy Boston broad pipes up and says, Yeah, you got a show. She heard you the first 2 times." That was the only time I ever liked that woman. D-bag gives her a nasty look, but shuts up and orders a bottle of cab for the table. I get them the wine with 4 glasses and leave them alone for a bit since they're not ready to order food. I get back a few minutes later, and the bottle is empty, but 3 glasses are untouched, and D-bag was the only one drinking it. Okay, whatever, he's a big guy and I'll get them some food. Nope. They still don't want to order food, but D-bag wants another bottle of cab. I jokingly, but not jokingly, say, Will your friends be joining you this time? He didn't like that, and the Boston broad is like,
Oh yeah, this one's for the table, it's fine.
Okay, so I reluctantly put the order in, but tell my manager what's up. She says to keep an eye on them and get them some food. I get them the wine, and of course D-Bag does the same goddamn thing, but I get to him before he finishes the whole bottle. He tries to order a third. Sir, I can put in an order in the kitchen for you, but I cannot bring you another bottle of wine right now.
What? This is ridiculous. Mr. Drinky's Steakhouse gets me whatever I want, and it's never a problem.
He then proceeds to complain to his friends about how much my restaurant sucks. His date looks like she wants to crawl under the table. I excuse myself and get my manager. She comes back to the table with me and explains why he can't have a third bottle of wine in less than an hour. Now he's really pissed. He gets up and loudly announces,
We're leaving.
My manager shrugs and goes back to the front desk. He storms up to her and points aggressively at a group of chill regulars at the bar top.
How many drinks did they have, huh?
And starts berating my poor manager, who's a very sweet lady. One of the regulars yells over,
Not as many as you.
And people start laughing. D-Bag's face looks like a mix between a tomato and a rabid dog now.
Fuck this place, I'm never coming back here.
By the way, his date stayed at the table. At this point, some wonderful person at the bar starts clapping. Soon the whole bar is applauding and cheering as D-Bag storms out dateless and speeds away in his douchemobile. Yes, it does actually happen sometimes. By the way, we tried calling him a taxi, but he refused, and was getting belligerent, so we called the cops on him. He got pulled over, less than a mile away. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates, episode 145. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. If you liked the video, then please do boop the like button and leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, I always forget to do this, but if you have a story yourself you'd like to send in, be it Spinning Plates or for any of the other series I do, then please do send it along to kingofthecities@gmail.com. That can be found in the description of pretty much every video, as well as all the other fun contact info and so on. Right, where are we? This goes up on Saturday, doesn't it? Okay, regarding the Saturday stream, I will attempt to do one, but my PC's being a dick again and randomly crashing. I have no idea what the cause is. Thought it might be the SSD, but I'm not sure. It boots up quickly and then everything works well enough. I'm just not sure what the problem is. It just kind of randomly blue screens. I was getting that issue for a while, but I was able to adjust the setting in the BIOS and it just stopped. It's fine for months and months and months, but it's at it again. So I have some investigation ahead of me. It can work fine for hours, or I can do it a couple of times within, like 30 minutes or whatever. It's frustrating. Especially when the damn warnings come up. Oh, it's this code, it's that code. They're never helpful. They're never actually helpful in any way. So I'm just going to have to process of elimination, really. I'll try the BIOS again. I've been updating everything I can update, but I don't know if it's that. But I will attempt to do a stream. It might crash in the middle. If it does, I'll get the computer restarts quickly enough. So we'll get it up and running, and we'll hope for the best. Cross all our fingers and toes. It might actually get through to the end without doing anything. I'll blame the heat. I'm blaming the heat on pretty much everything that goes wrong right now. I did get a new game last week to try out. It's called Ghost Hunter Corp, I think. It's interesting. It's a little like Phasmophobia, except it does a thing after Phasmo that I wanted to do, where you hunt the ghosts down. So that's fun. Lots of familiar equipment, lots of new equipment as well. But thing is, it's very, very, very early access. Like, my goodness, it probably shouldn't even have been released as early access. It's that early. But they are releasing updates. They are trying to fix it. And I've already bought it, so I'm not going to refund it. And I'll be along for the ride, hope they fix it and make it into a useful game. I do know other people that I play Phasmo with are interested in it because, it's a similar vibe. So, well, I'll be keeping an eye on that and hoping it becomes a usable game at some point. Is that too much to ask? No, well, I don't think that's too much to ask. Where are we? Oh yes, I'm melting. I should probably head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.